All right, g'day, hi, and welcome. All right, so this video is called No, You Don't Need Another New Guitar. You just need to know how to adjust it. Okay, so what we're looking at here, some pretty cool guitars. My newest addition is the Mark Holcomb 6-string. Absolutely love this thing. It's intonated for drop C when you get them. You can intonate them for standard tuning. There's more. It's the same bridge basically there between the 7-string and the 6-string, except for minus one string. But you got lots to intonate there, so there's not that much of a difference into the intonation between the drop C and the standard tuning. But anyway, yeah, let's talk about that. So you got a guitar. You've been playing the crap out of the guitar forever and a day. I'll grab another guitar. What should I grab? I know I'm gonna grab. Hang on. Don't let your ADD get the best of you. I'm coming back. All right. So you get a guitar. Okay. Now this guitar has a few issues with it. It's 13, 14 years old. My beloved SG61 reissue, favorite guitar of all time. Just cause. This is my supermodel. This is my wife. This is my kind of, my dream guitar, right? And I really love this thing. Now, when I first got it, first tried one of these, right? Right out of the very first time I tried one was in 92 or 94 when they first started replacing the SG62 reissue. They kind of went backwards. They went 62 reissue and then a 61 reissue. And they've off and on issued these over the years. Right now, you can't get them. The only one you can get is there's, I think, 2 models that Gibson makes that are 61 reissues. But one's in a worn faded, and it's about $12,000. Same guitar. And another one is aged, and it's ebony or black. And it's an aged one, so it looks like it's got, worn out and whatever. And it's, I think, 19,000 bucks. Same guitar, guys. Same guitar. But it's like one of 50 or one of 10 or something like that. So it's a collector guitar, right? Is an investment, but it's not something you would want to play unless you were like a big time rock star getting paid for it. So you bought your guitar, you got your dream guitar even, okay? And you've been playing it for a few months, which I highly recommend. Always use the factory, unless the factory settings are really bad. Always play your guitar for a few months, get to know it. And let's say after about 5 months, you're like, I really think that action's too high. Then adjust your action. Or, no problem with this guitar, but these guitars intonate very well. I know, Gibsons don't intonate. Yes, they do. And all the critiques you hear usually about the Gibsons is probably because they're not set up right. I don't have the tuning issue, but they're simple to set up, but they're also finicky to set up. Right? So when I got this guitar, okay, this wasn't the first 61 reissue I've ever played. I've probably played 1,000 of them. Every time I go into a music store and I saw one, I'd always pick it off the wall and play it, right? But I bought this in 2009. This is a 2007. When I got it, it had 11-gauge strings on it, not 10s. And the guitar was not set up for 11s, which is probably the main reason why I've got a bit of a bow in my neck. But so, unfortunately, I have to have the action slightly higher on this because I'll get too much. It's not bad today, but I don't know if you guys can hear it or not. But there's a slight buzz if you go too low with the action. That said, my SG3 there, which has the neck straight, it basically the best action of any guitar I've ever played in my entire life. I know, bold statement, but anybody that's ever tried that guitar, they're like, I can't play. Whoa. Why? I've set it up. So this, I've set up the tailpiece. A lot of people don't realize that, you don't just crank this thing all the way down or raise it all the way up. This sets the tension on your bridge. And that takes away the buzzing or adds buzzing, or pops your strings off every 5 minutes, or gives you perfect even tension, or you have flubby strings. Just by how you adjust this stop piece, the tail piece. That's it, right? And every guitar has these things, whether it's a Floyd Rose, which is super complex, or something like this, which has a more basic bridge, a tune-o-matic bridge, which is almost all the way down, to be honest with you. But it can still go a little bit lower. And then you don't have a lot of adjustment on the saddles here, but like when you're intonated with these guitars, it's like almost perfectly intonate. Well, every guitar will go out a little bit, with the exception of probably an Evertune bridge. There's always going to be some place on your guitar that's slightly out. With the Gibsons, it's usually right here. Okay, I'm slightly out of tune, but anyway, usually this F chord right here, it's always the high E here, where I usually have to file that down, because what happens is when you don't file it down, that string is just too high up, and you press it out of tune, right? I don't know why the Gibsons are set up like that, but sometimes they are. But once you fix that, every chord's perfectly in tune. Low F, high F, you name it. So the setup of your guitar, see if I can do it here. Oh, that's what. That's pretty good action for a guitar with a bow in the neck. You know what I mean? But like that, that's pretty cool. Like this guitar it's such a player. It's so fun. So you adjust your pickup heights to where you want. We just did a video on all the pickup heights. You could adjust the poles if you were brave enough. I don't recommend it, but if you had to, you could. You can even switch out switches, do all that stuff. But most of the time, the guitar really just needs a setup. And a setup is a strange thing, because sometimes you don't know what you want until you've played long enough with something in a factory setup to say, hey, yeah, the pickups do have to go up or down a bit on this guitar. Hey, yeah, the action is a little high. Or, no, it's a little bit too low, I'm getting too much buzzing. Whatever it is. But when you refine it, or maybe my intonation is not as dead on as I thought, you know, you change strings. You know, sometimes even just changing brands makes it different, even if you got the same gauge strings. It don't make that much of a difference, but it makes a difference. But when you refine everything, the guitar plays itself. And with these guitars, what I find, you know, and same with the Epiphones or whatever, when you get the bridge tension perfect, A, you barely pop a string. B, if you're popping your E string and your G string all the time, it means you're not intonated properly. I'm telling you that from experience. If you got buzzing at the bridge and a lot of ringing at the bridge, you don't have enough tension on your bridge. And again, you set the tension by that. And again, a lot of times it doesn't take much, and it depends on string gauge and stuff like that. But you get all that stuff sorted out, suddenly you have a guitar that you just don't want to replace. It becomes a guitar that is just perfect. You know what I mean? So yeah, always think about the setup. And a setup means everything. Sometimes a setup could also include how you wind your strings. Strangely enough, it is. I don't know if this is true, but with the Gibsons, you tend to want to wind them from the top down. I don't know. Some people say that helps, but I don't know. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But I don't seem to have the issues a lot of other people are having with the tuning and all that. Like, other than when I let the guitar sit for a long time and with the temperature going up and down all the time. This guitar's awesome. I got 10s on here. Yeah, so setting up the guitar is really, before you even consider buying another guitar, get your guitar, play it for a while, months, whatever, set it up. The best, even a cheap guitar, set up really well is going to be better than a really high quality guitar piss poorly set up. Guaranteed. It'll play better. Like this guitar is like, yeah, I'll make it in the next video what a setup can, you know, actually protect your hands.